My name is Jim Obergefell. My late husband John and I were together for almost 21 years before he passed away as a result of the complications of ALS. And when the man I loved and cared for passed away, because my home state fought the recognition of my marriage to John. No American should have to suffer that indignity. Our love is equal.
My thesis is, the illegalization of gay marriage was a barrier because until the late 2000s in America, people had discriminated against gay people so much that America passed an act that prohibited them from marriage. The legalization of gay marriage represents breaking a barrier because it allowed gay couples most of the same rights as straight couples. When the Supreme Court legalized gay marriage all across America, it changed the country for the better and made America move towards all-around equality. In 1996, Bill Clinton signed the Defense of Marriage Act, which is also known as the DOMA. This act stated that marriage is defined as a man and a woman. It also said that only straight marriage would be recognized by the federal government. The act then said that the states could do whatever they wanted with gay marriage, so many of them did exactly that. Almost all of the states immediately created bans, restrictions, and even made gay marriage illegal. Signing the DOMA created many more problems than what it seemed like at first. The physical barrier is obvious. Gay people could not get married. But little do some people know that marriage also gives people tax, spousal, and about 1,000 federal benefits. The barrier here is that to deny people marriage, you are not only denying them commitment and a declaration of love, but you are also denying them tax breaks and federal benefits that help people raise children, buy houses, and also adopt together. This barrier goes much deeper than the eye can see. Denying gay people marriage is denying them the right to receive the other's property after death, have one spouse's name be on the other's death certificate, and more. This barrier is not as much challenging the ways of thinking, but bringing to surface very obvious discrimination to light. Before the DOMA was passed and gay marriage was openly not recognized by the federal government, gay people were discriminated against. They were denied medical care, kicked out of their own homes, and denied jobs because of their sexual orientation. Before the DOMA, at least they could get married. But then, they couldn't even do that.
A while before it was, so you had to be so closeted, you couldn't tell anyone. You could used to get arrested for being gay, and a lot more for guys that get beat up. You couldn't rent apartments sometimes. Many careers you couldn't get into, and I don't know, they tried to ban teachers, any gay teachers. There was an initiative one time in California to fire any gay teachers.
This means that after the DOMA was passed, the gay community was so heavily discriminated against that in order to not be abused, they had to leave their friends and family just to stay away from bodily harm. This itself was a barrier presented by the DOMA. All of this changed on June 26, 2015. On this day, people all around the country were anxiously awaiting the result of the Supreme Court case Obergefell versus Hodges. The result of this case changed America's history so much so that in years to come, this Supreme Court case would be remembered as arguably one of the most influential in the United States history. A couple months earlier, on April 25, 2015, the court heard a compiling of 6 cases about gay discrimination across 4 states. One of the 6 cases was presented by a man named Jim Obergefell, of whom the case is named after. Jim told the court that his husband Arthur, who he had been with for over 20 years, had died. When Jim was given Arthur's death certificate, he was refused the right to put his name on it. He fought and successfully did so, but even after he got his name on Arthur's death certificate, Ohio continued to fight that right. Because of this, he went to the Supreme Court. Obergefell asked if Ohio should just erase his marriage with Arthur, because of how little it will affect anything. In a different one of the 6 compiled cases, Thomas Kotsura and an Army Reserve Sergeant, Ajibe Deco, were married in New York, where it was legal. The two moved to Tennessee because Deco was restationed there. When they arrived, they planned to go on in life as a married couple. until they found out that Tennessee would knowingly not recognize their marriage. In this case, the arguments that the states presented were that deciding who marries who is the state's decision, and by preventing that from happening, it is a violation of the state's liberty. They then went on to argue that their arguments on same-sex marriage are based on actual facts and not hate towards lesbians or gays. They said that legalizing gay marriage would change marriage as we know it. They also said that it could have unintentional consequences. Their example was that no-fault divorce laws would have changed the practice of marriage and led to a rise in single parenthood. By this logic, marriage is taking biological parents together and helping them successfully raise children. This would mean that gay marriages would undermine that. The plaintiffs, or people fighting for gay marriage, argued that marriage was a fundamental right, and according to the Constitution, they should be allowed to marry. They also said that same-sex marriages won't weaken straight marriages, because marriage is about more than having children. According to Solicitor General Donald Verrilli, Jr., excluding gay and lesbian couples from marriage demeans the dignity of these couples. It demeans their children, and it denies both couples and their children the stabilizing structure that marriage affords. This means that by denying gay people marriage, you are decreasing their worth as a person, and in turn their friends, families, and children. By this point of view, gay people are almost as low as animals if they are denied marriage. The court's decision on this case would change America forever.
History is written. The Supreme Court guarantees marriage for all. There's a rush for licenses in more than a dozen states.
Minutes ago extends same-sex marriage in America.
Rights decisions in its history. The Supreme Court of the United States found that gay and lesbian Americans have a
must
constitutional
recognize
right
same-sex
to marry.
marriages performed in other states.
This is a historic day.
Thanks to the Supreme Court and a 5-4 decision with the tiebreaker being Justice Kennedy, America was freed from the sexual injustice that had plagued its soil for decades. Love won, and nothing will ever change that. The short-term impact of this momentous occasion was that anyone, regardless of sexual preference, could get married in any state of America. They also gained federal representation as well as federal spousal benefits. They could also pay less estate and gift taxes, and along with that, they could pay less money to gain shared property, become parents, and do their federal income tax returns. The legalization of gay marriage opened up America to go pro-gay. This decision changed the way almost all of America thought about gay people.
We got married back in 2008, and a lot of Californians did, but it was still really, it was pretty uncommon, and especially like for relatives outside of the state and stuff, it was pretty unusual to them, and it's like, oh my God, a gay marriage. But then when it came across the whole country and so many couples got married, it became very normal. And so people, it wasn't gay marriage anymore, just someone's getting married. It's not like, oh, they're having a gay wedding, it's they're having a wedding. And so it normalized it.
This means that because of gay marriage being legal, the public opinion changed. Gay people were accepted as a part of the American culture. America turned over a new leaf and took a leap towards equality. The unintentional long-term impact of this decision was that it sort of diminishes the Freedom of Religion Act. This is because some people's religions believe that gay marriage is a sin and therefore should not be practiced. If people who believe this are priests or church clerks who issue marriage licenses, marrying a gay couple or giving a gay couple a marriage license would be a mortal sin. For example, a woman named Kim Davis refused to grant a gay couple a marriage license because it went against her religion, even after gay marriage was legalized. But now, America is coming to its senses and opening up to the idea that gay isn't bad. This law brought so much change in such a short amount of time. Before, people were terrified to come out, and now people are so pro-gay that people are terrified to speak out against it. There are pro-gay music videos, movies, and marches. Many people also believe that a gay president is right around the corner. If not for the courage of the people in Obergefell versus Hodges, America would still be in the dark about the gay community. We should thank the people who braved it out and fought in the Supreme Court for the rights of the human race. America will never be the same after this Supreme Court case.